Hey guys, so tonight I'm doing a bunch of videos about various brands of cue makers. I own 40 cues and I have some, several McDermott's, several Sean's, things like that. And I've talked about a lot of them. So I'm going to talk this time about Joss cues. For some reason, back when I first started playing, nobody I knew had a Joss that I can think of. Some people had McDermott's, a lot of people had Mucci's. Some of the old timers had like a Palmer and stuff. Maybe like one or two guys had a Sean, but I don't think I knew anybody with Joss cues. In my mind, they were like up there, like with a Sean. They're like kind of equivalent in street cred and stuff like that. I could be wrong, but it's just my memory, and this is pretty old memory right now. But several years ago, as I was getting more and more into the cue collecting type of stuff, I at one point realized, crap, I don't have a Joss. So I had to correct that. I went online to see what was there. I think I actually saw this on eBay, I think. And so this was the first Joss that I ever owned. I don't know the model number. I'm not super thrilled with the rounded points, but I do like the hoppy ring treatment. And this is all black. It's not brown. The scaling sometimes makes things look brown. It's all black. It had an Irish liner wrap on it, so I shipped it to Rick Filippi to put boar's height on it. And also ordered a Predator shaft for it. At this time I was playing with all Predator shafts and Jacoby shafts, low squirt shafts. And this is just a stock shaft. I didn't ever really hit any balls with it in this configuration. I waited for that Predator shaft to show up. It was a Predator 314-3 or whatever the third model of it was. And I got it, and I was like, well, what flat out wasn't very good. Okay, well, that was pretty to hang on my wall, but that's about all it was going to be good for. A few years after that, when I got some peach hours and switched away from low squirt shafts back to stock shafts, I got this stock shaft for this cue out of the case and put it on and hit balls with it. And night and day difference. Just a huge improvement. And this is a wow cue. All my Joss cues are wow cues, okay? Just like all of my peach hours are wow cues. That means that for me, at least a part of me, wow, wow, wow. Every time I hit a ball, I can't believe how good they hit. And this is absolutely one of them. And I like this cue an awful lot now. I'm not thrilled with the round points. But back then, all cues had round points, I guess. Back then, I didn't have any custom stuff at all. And all the cues I had round points, except maybe the Predators always had sharp points. I didn't care. And now I guess I do care. This cue is nice and plain and simple. This is what I would call a player level cue, not a Sneaky Pete, certainly not a monster cue, and not even like I have categories of cues that I just use in my head, like a Sneaky Pete, like I said, a player, a regular cue, and a monster cue. I think I have one monster cue. It's not this one. So that was my Joss, and my collection now had a Joss cue in it, so that was cool. This past year at Derby City Classic, the Joss booth is on the way to the restroom. So I would go past the Joss booth, it seemed like 50 times a day. And a cue caught my eye. A couple cues caught my eye. This was one of them. This is the Joss Color of Money cue, also known as an N7. It had like a white fleck on black linen wrap. Doesn't anymore. I don't know why I bought it. I bought it because I liked the way this other Joss hit, and because I kept seeing this every time I walked past. There it is, and I'm like, okay, let's do that. I had money this past year because I won what did I win? I won a Joss West and didn't like the looks of it, so sold it, and so I had a bunch of money. So of course I bought pool cues with that money. That's what happened. This had some type of linen wrap on it. I took it down and had either Steve Lomax, or the other guy whose name always escapes me, put an elephant ear wrap on. This is the first cue I ever had with an elephant ear wrap. And this cue, like all of my Joss cues, hits absolutely fantastic. I talked about in an earlier video about my peach hours, that one of my peach hours may be my absolute best hitting cue, or it might be in second place. If that peach hour is in second place, this one is in first. This hits so great that I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of it, but I'm still keeping it. And yeah, there it is. It's maybe one of the reasons it didn't sell is because the grain is a little bit weird. You see it, it's light and then really dark. The grain is a little bit weird. It almost makes it look like somebody took some bleach and bleached out part of it or something. It's probably not what they did. But that may be one of the reasons this didn't sell. But now it has sold, and then I bought it. Also this past year at Derby City, probably the next day, going past the same Joss booth on the way to the same restroom, I saw this. I just call this a Joss Sneaky Pete. And I've told the story about this kind of cue before, just very briefly. I used to own a Joss like this, except mine, it was brown and not Purple Heart like this is. And I had my high run and straight pull with that particular cue. It was on a 4x8 table, and it was 214. And the pockets were bigger, but I tried to trade that for a Scruggs Sneaky, and my mailman stole it. And anyway, now I bought this just for a nostalgia reason, just to have that, and I had a space on my wall or whatever. And this became my third Joss, and just like my other ones, hits fantastic. This one just has a flat face joint on it. Actually, it doesn't. Hey, see, I was wrong. I showed how often I take these damn things apart. So it's got a little bit of a piloted joint on it. And maybe that's part of the reason. It looked like it's got a little bit of a compression fit. Wow, I didn't know that. This cue probably hasn't been taken apart since the day I bought it. But now I know. It doesn't really tighten up at the end. It's like my Tascarellas. But anyway, absolutely hits fantastic. And if somebody just wanted a cue that just hit great, and they didn't care at all what it looked like, or if it got damaged or beat up or whatever, they didn't care about any of that, you can't go wrong with this guy. And that is my video about Joss cues. Bye guys.